A few years ago, I had a wake-up call. My life wasn't focused on what really matters. At the time, I was already a Franciscan friar in seminary. I had made religious vows and for the most part had given myself over to Christ. I wanted to serve him and to make everything in my life about the gospel. But there was a part of me that was still holding back. Not consciously, not intentionally. I thought I was focused on the right things, but part of my heart was still focused on things of this world that simply do not matter. Now, spoiler, I'm still like this to some extent. I am by no means perfect and will continue to have to grow in holiness until the day I die, but there was a moment about 7 years ago when I got the real kick in the pants that I needed. It came when my provincial decided to transfer our seminaries. For 3 years, I had attended the Catholic University of America. I loved it, and I did well there. I'd always been an above-average student, smart but not always focused, but when I got to seminary, I really turned it up a notch. To say that I got good grades is an understatement. In 3 years of graduate theology classes, I think I had more A+s than I did A-. With the exception of just a few classes, my GPA was perfect. And if you couldn't tell, I was kind of proud of this. This wasn't just any school, this was seminary. I was getting a master's degree in theology. If there was ever pride to be found in getting good grades, surely this must be it. I was studying for God, but it was still pride. And what I was proud of turned out to be something that didn't really matter at all. When we eventually transferred seminaries, all my previous classes, all 60 to 70 credits of near-perfect graduate work, were accepted, but as transfer credits, meaning that they didn't take the grades, they just put a little TC next to each. Meaning that at the bottom of my transcript, after 3 years of being proud of my grades, my cumulative GPA read 0.0. 0.0. Just like that, a blank slate. Just like that, nothing to show for all my work. Because I never graduated from the first seminary. If anyone were to ever ask for my transcript in the future, all they would ever see is transfer credits. All they would ever see is 0.0. It was in that moment that I realized how foolish I had been. Not for studying and working hard, these are great things. Foolish for being proud of my grades. Foolish for thinking that some number or letter on a transcript meant anything in the grand scope of heaven. Watching it all slip away in an instant, I thought of myself standing before God at the end of my life and him asking me, what had I done with my life? What was I proud of? What showed my worth before the Lord? I thought about how foolish it was that the thing I was most proud of at the time was my grades. Was this really the best I could offer God? Is this really something to be proud of? Something so arbitrary, so fleeting, so personal and selfish. Surely, this was not something that had much weight in heaven. Because what does God care about? What is he proud of? Is it our grades, our looks, our athletic skill, the number of followers we have on social media, how much money we have, how safe of a life we've created? These are the things we spend our whole life striving after, the things that we define our lives by and take pride in. But at the end of the day, what do they mean to God? The answer is nothing. Nothing. While none of these things are wrong in themselves, and it's true, we can be thankful for each when we experience them, use them to help those around us, in themselves, as ends to strive for, as things to be proud of before God, they're utterly worthless. In the Gospels, Jesus makes it very clear what matters in heaven. In the parable of the sheep and the goats in Matthew 25, he tells of the future judgment of nations, how people will be separated into the redeemed and the damned. The criteria he uses is not our money or power or status or earthly accomplishments, but the amount of mercy we shared with the poor. Whatever you did for one of these least brothers of mine, you did for me. When we feed the hungry, clothe the naked, visit the imprisoned, care for those who cannot care for themselves, this is what gives our life meaning. This is what God will be looking for when we get to heaven. This is not a surprise, and it is not a mystery. All throughout the Gospels, Jesus exhorts his disciples to be merciful, loving, forgiving, patient, and faithful. This is what we should be proud of. This is what we can offer to God as a sacrifice. And so I wonder about you as I continue to look at my own life. What do you focus on? What are you most proud of that you want to share with God? When you come face to face with Jesus at the end of your life, and you have to offer your life to him as a sacrifice, will you be proud of what you have to offer? More importantly, will he be proud of what you have to offer? That's an unsettling question. A question I had to ask myself all those years ago with my grades, but continue to ask myself every time I get proud that a video has a lot of views, that an event works out how I planned it, a compliment from someone that makes me feel good, earthly glory for my work. Is this a treasure worth anything in the kingdom? If it is, if it's something that helps you grow in mercy, love, forgiveness, patience, and faith, well, then keep going. Accept it as a gift and keep on doing what you're doing. But if not, if what you're doing means nothing in the kingdom of heaven, what are you doing with your life? Let it go and focus on what really matters.